and I went upstage, and I can't remember how I opened, but the way it went was I would start talking about a random thing. Like I think it might have been at first, who's the GOAT, who's the greatest of all time rapper. So I started getting into the big discussions between Biggie and Tupac with West Coast and East Coast and I don't know what, and then there are other rappers that play a big role that sort of maybe aren't as historically poignant, but people think their skill is better. But I'd somehow make it funny. I don't know. I think I was. And then I would go into the audience and ask people questions. So after talking about the GOAT, I'd ask people who they think is the GOAT. But then whatever they say, I just start grilling them. They'd just be like, this person. And I'm like, why is this? And I just keep going with question after question after question. Like with the GOAT one, it was like, I talked to them about, I just kept talking to them. They said something about Eminem, and I would ask them about Eminem and when they listened to Eminem the most and what they were going through and I don't know what. And I eventually had her talking about her dad and I was like, and then about Eminem and her dad, and I was like, shit, you must have been real angry if Eminem was your go-to thing and how her dad died, and I don't know what, and then I go and then I write a haiku about them after I grill them. So after each person, I go up on stage and I write a haiku. But I was like kind of high, and so I would be like visibly writing a haiku, and it would take me, let's say like 15 seconds, maybe 20 seconds to write a haiku. Let's say 15 seconds, that wasn't that slow. And, but like while I'd be writing a haiku, if someone would interrupt me, I'd get mad at them and I'd make fun of them in some funny way. And like people were laughing, but there was one person who I do believe genuinely got mad at me while I was grilling them, but it was like about their breakfast. And the haikus were always kind of funny. Like that girl's haiku, I can't remember what it was, but I snuck in mom's spaghetti into it, But something about her dad not being around or something. And all she has is mom's spaghetti now. So that was my time doing.
That was my second time.
That was my second time doing stand-up.
Stand-up comedy.
Yeah. But there was because I had no idea how people took it.
You till today, you don't really understand.
I think now I understand a bit better because I did talk to the guy who runs the thing, and he said, "Oh, I thought it was really hilarious. He thought it was really good. But he said, but it was pretty fucking weird, man." But I didn't think I was being that weird at the time. But I think as I was doing all these things, I was just doing them in a visibly weird way. And but I thought I was just talking, Also, I thought I went on for like 5-6 minutes, but I think he told me I went 5-6 minutes, and I had like 8. I think he told me I went completely over time. I went to like 15-16 minutes, but I thought I had like 3 bits in there, And there was a time where not much later, 2 weeks later, this friend of mine comes up to me. She goes, "Hey, did you do some show at some point? Like a comedy show?" And I go, yeah, I did a comedy show, like Ben and I can't remember the other guys' names, nights, things at that place, She goes, because I was at this ball the other day for the theater, the university theater, and I was sitting next to someone, and they were telling me. I was talking to them like if they've seen any nice shows, and they said they saw one of the weirdest performances in their life. They had no idea what was going on. It was just this guy talking. I don't even know. I almost don't even remember it. Like I remember he was like Arab, and he was talking about being Arab and stuff like that. And this girl asked her, "Was he bald?" And she goes, "Yeah, he was bald." She goes, "I think I know who this is, Like, who else?" So I think it was weird.
Amazing, man. Okay.
But I think it was funny though. I think it was funny.
Sounds like you should do it again.
Yeah, I should redo it.
Comedy here is like, it's not that big yet. Right?
No.
Comedy stand-ups. There is, but still, infancy. I think that's the next thing. Like music now is pretty much like going at it, you know, like electronic music and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think
Well, comedy and music should always like
they,
overlap.
exactly. You're right.
So we don't have a repertoire. That's what it is.
Oh.
So we don't have a place that you can stick to and go to as an audience. You know, we don't have that culture. It's like flocks of people happening to appear at a place. It happens more or less with like with exhibitions and galleries. So a bit cheaper in my opinion. It's private.
Even, like,
it's privatized. It's like
you need it for the public. You need to just like anyone and everyone to go in.
yeah, go ahead.
Good point.
Because even like all my comedian friends from undergrad, they'd always talk about how comedy you have to practice.
Yeah.
You know, they would just be like, you just have to perform and perform often.
Yeah, just
You know,
get your,
like, that's the
it's a
only
muscle,
way
it's a
you
muscle.
get really good at stand-up comedy,
Yeah.
because you just need to learn how to gauge an audience, and you can't do that without an audience. You know?
There's also I forget which. It was one of the great comics, you know, and every now and then they would just decide to go to a random place that they know no one in, and it's small, and they just go all out. You have to keep it fresh. Always have to keep it fresh.
The art form involves the audience.
Yeah.
You can't practice piano without a piano.
Yeah, exactly. You're playing the audience. That's what you're playing. Chumps.
Chumps.
Iceberg.
Yeah.